I have talked about a little bit Project Raven. I've been sharing my progress in some of the videos about the architecture, and today I want to show a little bit more about it, and also something that's a little bit more visual, because this project will be something that I will launch for everybody to be able to actually use to build their own strategies. And everything is going to make more sense when I show this presentation, and I will be doing a demo and showing you how it's going to look like. So Raven is, I don't know if that's going to be the final name, but it's what I call it now, Project Raven. It's not just a trading bot, but think like N8N, like framework for building, testing, and deploying trading bots. So I don't know if you're familiar with N8N, but it's this automation tool where you can create pretty complicated flows with these nodes, and this is the idea behind Raven, doing that but for trading bots. There's no coding required to build your own strategy. You can do it entirely through a graphical interface. So it's basically a no-code trading builder. And now it's demo time. So let me just jump straight to it and show how it looks like. So it's still pretty basic, and I'm going to explain what's happening here. So there is an interface on the front end that is this node builder. So you can see over in left-hand side here, we have data sources. And I can put it over here, and you can see our Poly market is pre-selected. In the future, I'm going to make the option to add more exchanges. So it doesn't need to be prediction markets. It can also be, in this case, Kalshi, maybe Opinion, and other platforms that we want to connect to. So in this case, I'm going to do Poly market because that's the only thing that works right now, but I'll add more. We can we have different options for market discovery. So I'll do just a specific market by the slug, and in this case, I'm not using real data, so I'm just going to put in anything. And we can also add more markets, like if we want our trading bot to connect to several different markets, that's also possible. And it's possible to add more exchanges as well. Let's say that we want to do Poly market and we want to do Kalshi. Maybe you want to do a cross marketplace arbitrage bot. You will connect to the Kalshi 15-minute market, and you're going to connect to the Poly market 15-minute market, and then build your strategy around that. In my demo here, I'm going to do it very basic because it's not done yet, and it's kind of just a demo. A lot of the stuff works, but there's also a lot of stuff that doesn't work, and I'm building it every single day. Okay. And everything I'm talking about here is everything ties into all my videos in the past, because this is basically what I've been building. I've just been building the core architecture and framework. We have the Poly market here, so let me demonstrate. So we have different signals. It can be all sorts of signals. I'm going to demonstrate the price signal. So maybe our strategy just looks at a price update. So I put a price, and I can connect these two. So the price then subscribes to the Poly market data source, and we can then select the data field. So this is basically looking into the order book in this case here. So let's say we want to look at the best ask price from the order book, and then we can select the token side, and let's say in this case we want to do the up token, and all of this is something I'm gonna change because it has to kind of auto discover, like, is it even a token? Maybe on a different platform they call it something else, but this is kind of hard coded a little bit. And then we can do a condition. So we can connect different signals. This is just one signal. We can do many different signals if we can do some kind of a condition. So let's say we want to do a threshold. This is what I'm going to demonstrate in this example. Let's say we want to make a trade when the best ask price is a certain price. So we do the threshold, and we can say greater or equal than, let's say, 0.6. So when the token price is 0.6, that's when we want to do a trade. And that's where we can use our action. I'm just going to check if you can actually see it. You can. So we can drag over the buy. And the cool thing here is it will give you notification about the errors, and you can also see down here the error log if there's some error you have to fix. And then you can connect this one that you want to omit an action when this threshold here is true. And it's gonna auto-populate the market up here in the market. I can also choose a different market. I don't know why you would want to do that, but it is possible. And then it's gonna take the same token site that you chose before. But again, you can also change that. And there's other parameters. For example, you can choose the strategy type. That's more about how much do you want to buy for. So for example, in my case, I just want to buy for $1. But I can also do like a percentage of the capital. Maybe I want to do 5% of all the capital and other criterias. And let me see. And then you have different metrics for risk management and the order timeout and so on and so forth. So now I have a very basic strategy where we connect to the poly market. We look at updates to the best ask price. We check if it's above or equal to 0.6 and then we buy. And then you can actually test the run here with mock data. So if you select mock data, we can see how the events are gonna come in. And this is basically events from the poly market pipeline that basically run through the system. So it's gonna be easier to bug fix and really tweak your strategies. And then another neat thing is we can actually see the data here. So it's kind of a snapshot. So you can see here the live data that we came in, the bid, ask, and mid price. And then you can see, all right, this is what we got in, and this is the signal that triggered it. So when was it triggered? What data was it triggered on? So you can see at the value of 0.5069, which is the ask price. And then you can see here the condition. So it did not omit this as true. That means that the buy did not execute. You can see at the result it's false because 0.5069 is less than 0.6. And you can also see here in the log that it always evaluated the condition, but it never executed the trade. So obviously if it was less than, let's say we do the threshold 0.3, let's try run it again and hope it's not gonna break now that I do this live. So we do the mock data, start test. Yeah, so you can see here that now it evaluated to true and the action was triggered. And then it says, all right, at this price, we purchased for $1. So this is sort of the idea behind Raven, as a node-like strategy builder where you can start to build pretty complicated strategies without using any code whatsoever. I most likely will make the ability to add some code. Maybe you want to create your own signal that's very, specific to your use case. Then you can go and do it with an input and output. And obviously, everything that you see here in the notes is just for demo purposes. There's going to be a lot more that we can choose between. And obviously, this is something that I will work on more. So the idea is we have the front end, which you saw now, and that will connect to an API. And then when you have constructed your strategy, actually what I can do is I can just copy paste this so you can see kind of how it works behind the scene. And I can paste it. And then I have it's actually just a JSON that defines the strategy. Then what happens is when you click go or whatever, it's gonna feed that JSON over to the bot, and it's actually gonna create, that's at least my idea for now, it's gonna create its own instance. So when you create your bot will actually be on its own like server instance, and it's not gonna be with other people's bots just for reliability and stuff like that. But I will go more into detail about deploying because it's still kind of fuzzy and it's just, again, an idea. Other planned features. So it will be possible to deploy several bot instances, and this is kind of why I illustrated with this. So you have the data ingestion, you can actually go and make a lot of different bots. So when I copied the payload here, the JSON, you can take this, you can go and create a new bot and copy paste it, and then you can just change some values. And then you deploy it, or you back test it, or you simulate it for a week. And then if it's cool, all right, you deploy it. And then parameterize your strategies. So let's say that, all right, I have a nice strategy, but I want to change some values. I just want to change this condition. I want to run the same strategy in 3 separate instances. All right, I can do that. And then one instance is 0.3, and then 0.4 and 0.5. And then you can kind of, test very fast, very efficient. There's going to be some portfolio and strategy level risk management. So like I showed over here, if I go over to the buy, there's some default values that's just set on your portfolio, and you can also set it specifically for the strategy. But this is a part that's going to be built out more. There's going to be back testing and live simulation. So I will make the possibility to feed it a lot of past data, but also actually just run it in the background as a live simulation, and then see how well it does. And then if you have been running it for a week or 2 weeks, and think, all right, I'm pretty comfortable with this. All right, click go, and then it runs. And then the strategy you build is your own. It's not something I will sell to other, but I will facilitate you being able to sell your strategy to other people. This is at least an idea that I have. So I'm thinking like a marketplace where you can, if you have a strategy, you have a nice idea, you can sell it to other people. It's an idea. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but I'm just thinking a lot of ideas. So potentially a marketplace where you can actually buy and sell strategies. And then obviously the possibility to ingest data from multiple data sources and venues, cross-platform arbitrage, so Kalshi, Polymarket, Opinion, potentially also Binance, crypto exchanges, interactive brokers, a lot of different sources. The price, I don't know, it's to be announced, but my idea is I will be doing some kind of a fixed monthly cost of this. There's not going to be any trade fees or profit share, because I think if I add trade fees, it's just going to completely ruin the edge of the bots. It doesn't make any sense, because I know a lot of other bots, they have some kind of a trade fee, so I won't be doing that. And then I don't think I will be doing profit share either. So I think it will be monthly cost, but I don't really know. It's still very much early, and I'm probably going to do some kind of a freemium version. Maybe I'll do like, all right, before you deploy it, it's going to be free, and after, when you deploy it, maybe it's paid. Something like that. Don't know. Still kind of work in progress. Kenny, so far, in my opinion, the coolest part was the drag and drop UI. Yeah, 100%. I mean that is the the cool thing about it. That's kind of what I feel like is a game changer, because I haven't seen anybody doing this. There is trading bots already that have these predefined, strategies and stuff like that, that maybe you can change some parameters, but here you have a drag and drop builder. And also the ability to deploy a lot of strategies, test a lot of strategies, and then you can, because that's probably what you need to do. You probably need to deploy 20 strategies to just find one that actually works. And I think for sure, like newbies, but also intermediate, of course, if you are high level, you have the resources to doing something crazy, of course. So this is I think this is probably for new beginners, and then intermediate. I am talking with also a professional trader that's interesting in this. So I think it's not for institutions, but it is for like solo people that wanna do this. Timeline, I hope I will have a demo ready for some few select people to use it. Within a couple of weeks, I'm gonna probably start with like 2 or 3 people that I am in close contact with, have them trying it out, building some strategies, and then simulating it, and then after that, getting more people in. And of course, if you wanna be notified about this, there's also a Google form where you can put your email. I was working on a landing page. I'm not ready with it, but I will deploy that soon. But in the meantime, if you wanna be notified when this is, when it's open, then leave your email also down below in the Google form. For the timeline, as I said, hopefully testing this within the next few weeks. Hopefully have a very early 0.01 version ready in a few weeks, maybe a month. Waitlist, this one is not. Hopefully I will add this. I will have this website up running soon. So in the meantime, it's the link down in the description that you use for the waitlist. And then maybe in a day or 2, you use this link here. Again, to keep in the loop, just go to our Discord. We have a lot of people joining. So yeah, we have a lot of people every day, several people every day just joining. So it's pretty fun in here. We have a lot of good stuff going on. Even if strategy is good, sometimes the whole structure and how app bot operates don't allow strategy to be profitable and vice versa. Yeah, 100%. And I think you're right about that, Harry Potter, because that's actually the reason why I didn't do any strategies yet, because I want to make sure that like the core features works 100%, because like I might have a profitable strategy, you might have a profitable strategy, but it's not profitable because it's run through maybe subpar, code that actually doesn't facilitate this strategy properly. So that's kind of my thinking about it. That's why I've really been focusing on just creating the core parts here. It's true, you're gonna need to optimize latency, but it's okay. That not hard. Nice thing about platform seems to be the easy UI. Yeah, I mean, for latency, it's gonna be difficult, I think, actually, especially like I don't think this is gonna be for extreme high frequency trading, like because first of all, like we've been in the Discord, we have been testing out latencies, and the latencies from and to Polymarket is pretty bad, and you really need to be very close to the server, really need to know what you're doing and have like crazy setup to high frequency trading. I think the opportunities is elsewhere, because high frequency trading is there's institutions doing that. You want to compete against them. So I think for this is more like not high frequency trading. It's of course it's gonna be fast, but not within like 10, 20 milliseconds, maybe 100 milliseconds. Yeah. So you get 130, 150. So when I did it, it was like all over the place. It was all over the place. I can show you the Discord. In the Discord, I added a script to a GitHub here to measure the latency, and the way I did it, it's a byte-coded script, okay? So the way I did it, connect to the WebSocket, and then compare the timestamp from the events to the time that we received them. One issue about that is there might be like a clock shift or whatever you call it, like their server time might be different from my server time, and we don't know actually. So actually the problem about that is when I tested it to begin with, I got like minus latency. So the best I got was these results here. So I tested 2000 events. The median latency was 35.47 milliseconds. The mean was 44. The minimum was 6 and the maximum was 173. So it's between 6 and 173. So it's like all over the place. And I don't think this is reliable to do any high frequency trading if it's like that. And yeah, other people have kind of the same. You can see here, this guy here, he have total events 100. The median was 200. Minimum was 60. And yeah, you could let the user set their cloud compute and server location. Yes, I think that's also a very good idea. I think eventually I wanna do it so when you deploy your bot, by default it's gonna be deployed as its own instance on my server, but make the ability that it's actually deployed on your own server or something like that. Like if you want to fine tune something like that, all right, you just get like the code, put it on your own server, and then it runs something like that. But that's later down in the stages. Yeah, like I for sure I want to do something like that. Like if I actually start to make money on this, so like the whole idea about YouTube when I started this, basically just trying to document my journey making money online. So if that's gonna be making a trading bot, that would be cool, and then I want to take a portion of that and actually fund other traders. Maybe make a competition, use the platform, and then the winning strategies get funding of X amount, something like that. That would be pretty cool. Guys, it has been a pleasure talking with you. I have to go now because now I'm getting a call and I need to go. So this is not first time I'm gonna do a live stream. This was just a test stream, and I enjoyed talking with you. I'm actually happy about been so many comments. I did not really expect that. I thought I was just gonna be talking by myself, so that has been very good. So I'll be closing down now. Have a good Sunday and keep building, and I'll make sure to give you an update. And again, join the Discord down below in the link. We have a lot of good chats in there, and see you on the next time.